The fun and games are over. I did not go to the other house for 2 days because the weather, it was in the 90s. Come on, Bubba. The other house doesn't have air conditioning, and currently there's only one air conditioner hooked up. And when you're working, like physical work, it becomes to the point where I get sick to my stomach. I get so warm. So I avoided going over there. Yesterday, it was the hottest of the 2 days. I think it was 94 yesterday, and it was 92, I think, the day before. So now everything is in the low 70s. Actually, tomorrow it's going to start raining for the rest of the 10-day forecast. It's still going to be in the 70s, but so I have no excuse. So I need to do a lot to catch up on the 2 days that I did not. I had so much fun relaxing and doing my diamond painting that I needed that, I think. My body was really sore from, working on the other house a few days, like what was it? I think it was only 2-3 days in a row, but I needed that. And now I'm ready to just get it done. Today is Wednesday, and this weekend on Saturday is the day my son is coming, and I'm going to use him to the fullest extent. And we're clearing out all of the spare rooms. He's helping me take out stuff that I need. They need to be completely empty, so I can move in my stuff. And so we need to take apart some things and store stuff in the garage, of which, before we do that, because the garage is a total disaster, is we are going to have to not straighten so much, but make room for some of this stuff. So, that'll probably take a good couple hours for us to do that. And then do that, and then I'll really be able to get into each individual room and clean it, especially the room that my husband used, and that's where he did his dialysis and all of that. That one needs to really be cleaned thoroughly. I'm gonna just sort of put it in my head that doing the fridge and the stove are my main projects. If nothing else happens today, that needs to happen. But more is going to have to happen, again, because I'm a couple days behind. But those are my two main projects. So what time is it? It's actually 10:30. I went to bed really late last night. Well, I should rephrase that. It took me forever to fall asleep last night. I bet it was maybe 3 or 4 in the morning before I actually fell asleep. So I'm having a little later of a morning, kind of slower than even normal. But I want to get over there sometime in the afternoon. I seem to work better. I'm not a morning person, so I'm going to do that. Tomorrow, I need to go and pick up my daughter and her little family unit, my son-in-law and our little Nuri, at the airport, and bring them back. And then that day, at some point before then, because actually they're doing an evening fly-in. I think they'll be flying in toward the dinner hour. Oh boy, I don't know how I'm going to survive this month, to be honest. Man, it's times like this when you really feel your age. I got at the other house yesterday at about 2:30ish or something, and I didn't leave until 9:15 at night, and took a couple short 15-minute breaks maybe. I don't know, I didn't time myself, but not long enough, just sitting, drinking some water, and then plotting out my next move. It's getting there. I'm just worried at this point where I'm going to have the energy to pack, because I have not started packing here at all. You would think that would have been my first priority, but no, I guess it's more important that I move into a clean house. So I think I'm mostly worried about that. I'm now not worried that I that I'm not going to get the other house done in the next probably 3 days or so. I'm just worried that I'm going to struggle packing and getting this house situated. I also know how exhausted I am now, so I can imagine how exhausted I'm going to be after I pack and all of that. So I looked into having a move out clean, hire somebody to do a move out clean here, even though, my God, it is going to be a breeze for someone who knows what they're doing, has the correct, there's not a lot to do once I'm moved out. I think my biggest concern, honestly, is the carpet, because the dogs and the cat have had accidents on it. And I clean it up as it happens with this enzyme stuff. But there's a definite, smell of pets, and I don't care at this point if my deposit is kept because they have to clean the carpets or, God forbid, actually replace them. I don't think it's that bad, but anyway, I called to get a quote, somebody that was really highly rated, this little family-owned company, and $500 for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, office apartment. I think they just assume that it's thrashed and they're going to have, a big job ahead of them, but $500 for a 900 square foot, technically 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, tiny kitchen, barely cooked in it. Honestly, it boggles my mind. So, the last thing, I'm not doing that. So the only thing that I can fathom that I probably won't be able to do, because I don't have a ladder to reach, is to wash the globes, the ceiling fixtures, the lights. I could get to the one in the dining room. Other than that, it's really, wiping and cleaning the windows. I really don't think it's going to be bad at all, especially considering what I'm dealing with at the other house, but it's the energy level is what I'm worried about, because eventually because I have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome that I've lived with or live with. And so I'm mostly concerned that I'm going to get my body in such a state that it's going to take me months to recover, because I will have really driven myself into the ground. Because when you have deadlines, things have to be done. So you just push yourself. And it used to be, we moved quite a bit, and moving wasn't a big deal for me. And we moved to and from larger places. It was tiring and exhausting, yes, but this has really, really been hard, to the point where it's like, I really see myself not wanting to move ever again, just because this has been so hard. And I haven't even started packing yet. It's just the foreseeable. I was at the other house, and thought, could I see myself just living here forever? And I mentioned in the past, maybe I didn't post that one, I don't remember, but I bought that house for my, primarily for my husband to be able to get around in easily. One level, pretty open, very open concept. So he had room to maneuver, hardwood floors, very much with him in mind. It wasn't a choice that I would have chosen if I didn't have to think that way. It is a pretty house. It just needs a lot of work. I don't think it was taken care of that well. And the builder, I think, wasn't that good. So things look, I don't know. It's just feeling very overwhelming to me. I've been told that the roof looks good, but there's no air conditioning, which is fine. But I looked into, when we just moved in, I looked into what it would cost to put air conditioning in, because it already has central heating, And it blew my mind. It was like $15,000. I did not expect that, especially when you have all the ductwork already. Had a second bid. They came in at 12, I believe. So that isn't happening. I don't know. It's the huge open concept of the living space in that house that really throws me. It worked well for my husband, but I feel like I would eventually need to put some sort of interior wall to divvy it up. It's just a really weird layout. It's so open concept that you're at a loss kind of thing, you know? And then where the kitchen is located in this big open concept, it's just bizarre. It's really bizarre. I did spend a lot of money for really good cupboards. I mean, a countertop, and a new sink and all of that. But the cupboards are super cheap. I couldn't afford to replace and do a whole kitchen remodel. But I thought I would look into, if I do plan on staying, which I'm very close to saying yes, having just, you know how they just replace the doors and the drawers and then they redo the sides and stuff. Have any of you had that done? If you have, I would love to know your experience. Does it end up being just as much as having whole cupboards replaced? I would think not. Plus, I have these beautiful counters, you know. I did it a little backwards. I get it. But so I don't know. I thought I'd look into that. This is for future projects, maybe with a home equity loan. That would not be priority because the deck needs to be replaced. The fencing needs to be replaced. It needs to be painted. The house needs to be painted, and some rot boards need to be replaced. I want new gutters with leaf guards on them. Stuff like that is priority. Anyway, I knew this was going to be a very busy month. I am on my way back to the other house. I've been cleaning it, just getting it ready for me to move in. Haven't even done anything to the outside. That's not going to happen until I actually move in. And then I'm going to have to hire people because I have to make sure, I hope to have money left over to hire people to get the yard situated for me. Yeah. So I am seeing the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to what needs to be done at the other house for me to move in. There's still going to be things I'm going to work on when I'm there, like cleaning out closets and cupboards and stuff, but I can do that while I live there. But there were things that, you know, I really wanted to have done. Kind of like you're, you know, moving into a rental and it's been cleaned. And so for the most part, that's what my mindset is. However, I haven't cleaned out the kitchen cupboards, which they desperately need to be done. But I'll do that when I live there. I wanted to do it before then, but honestly, I'm pooping out. I haven't started packing here because in my head, I'm thinking I want to get done. It's like I have to compartmentalize, because if I don't, my ADHD or whatever you want to label it is just all over the place, and I would be bouncing back and forth, and I would feel even more overwhelmed, and I would feel like I was going in circles and nothing was getting done. So in my head, to make this reasonable, I wanted to get that house completely, just in my head, the things checked off that I want done. And then when it's all ready for me to leave it alone and I'm gonna move in, I'll start packing here. So today is the 19th, I believe. Is that right? Today is Tuesday. And my move day is scheduled for the 26th. So I, wanted a full week to pack, and I'm not going to clean. It would be nice if I cleaned along the way and I wouldn't have to worry about doing that. We'll see how that goes. But, I wanted a full week to clean. I wanted a full week. Yeah, I wanted a full week to pack. So that is the plan. on track pretty much for that. I'm hoping today will be my last day, but I might have to come back tomorrow. My allotted time, I've noticed that it takes me to call it a day at the other house has dwindled as the day goes on. But part of that was because I did a really stupid thing and spent 7 straight hours over there working hard, and I just used way too much of my energy bank for everything that, for the rest of the time. Did I get a lot done that day? Yes, I did. Really, I spent 7 hours, which was on the kitchen, and I still wasn't done with it. And then the next day, I was there probably for about 5 hours. Hold on, guys. And I cleaned out. That whole time was on the refrigerator. It was, oh, not at all. I had to YouTube how to get the bottom glass shelf out because stuff had spilled and went underneath the glass, and I couldn't get to it underneath or anything. It was like in between. And along the crevices, it just kind of spread out. That took me a little while to figure out. And then, you want to know the longest time that it was me trying to get the shelf back in. I did have to pull my refrigerator out because the door won't open all the way where the sort of wall divider is. And so to get that shelf out, and also to get the pull-out one out, to clean, I had to pull it out. So anyway, it took me, I did take a couple breaks, but they weren't very long. Come on, Semlegs, I need to get over. I might have to go around because this little rogue is also just putting along. Oh, this is supposed to be a freaking freeway, people. It's been 2 years since I've lived there, and I can't believe that. And my husband actually is very good about keeping the house clean. It's a combination of him not being able to reach and get into things, and also like the logistics, of course, of being in a wheelchair, and there's only, so also just things that he doesn't really think about doing, that if you're not doing it for a couple years, it can really build up, and then just, I don't know. But as for over the years, you guys, he's always been the better cleaner, straightener than I have been. Yeah, like if you could, like homemaking stuff, he was better. I mean, he cooked more than I did. I was pretty spoiled. I was pretty spoiled. I didn't realize a lot of my struggle when I think about things like being able to do it all, being able to take care of the kids and play with the kids and keep the house clean and all of that. I didn't realize that I had, ADHD back then, and possibly other, labeled sort of things go on that made all of that very overwhelming and hard for me to do. And I did beat myself up over it, thinking, why are my friends able to do this and I'm struggling so much with it? Why is it so hard for me to keep my house from being a disaster? Why am I so tired now that I should have dinner ready before my husband gets home? But, it just, so a lot of that makes sense now when I think back. But Anyway, so we didn't have that typical back in the day, you know, like the wife does this and the man does this, you know. It's like, no, he took on, you know, he took on a lot because he worked a lot. And so he would help me with the house stuff too. And he never complained, never made me feel bad. Help do the laundry and fold, and yeah, I was very, very fortunate. You know, I am doing stuff that I necessarily wasn't very good at keeping up either. But yeah, I have the whole vision of like, if this were, you know, I'm moving into this house, and it, you know how it is so nice when you move in and everything's clean and everything is nice. That's kind of what it's also actually been really therapeutic for me to just go through and throw stuff away and just really get it has been metaphorically and in every which way very therapeutic for me to do, and just sort of like clear the space, clear the energy. My daughter wants to come and we want to burn it's not sage. She said there's this other one that she prefers to do, and we're just going to burn it throughout the house. And I really, really like that idea, so I'm going to hold her to that. Just, you know, there is an energy that happens in your home, and it could be good, it could be bad, or it just could be kind of like muddled. And I feel like it needs to just like, this is a fresh, new sort of, you know, beginning in this house, even though I've lived there for 2 years and then I was away for 2 years. But anyway, so, oh, that's something that I was going to say is that, yeah, so I spent 7 hours and 5 hours, and now I'm noticing there's a 2-hour mark where I'm ready to tap out. And it's because I've lost momentum. I've lost the energy, just from consecutively trying to get this done. And my recovery time is very slow, so I haven't been able to recover properly before I start in again. So yeah, I noticed it was like, I felt like I was there forever yesterday. It was only like 2.5 hours. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm ready. And I was thinking I'm just gonna take a break, you know, and so I do that, and then if I realize I'm pooped, like I feel like I might hurt myself at this point, you know, when you start getting shaky. And I made sure to eat before I went, same as today, is because there for a while, that 7-hour day, I went the entire day without eating anything. So the next day, you know, I, of course, you know, it's hard to recover when you've done that to yourself. And I've just have made sure now that I'm eating enough and that I'm eating before I go. It's stupid, I know. I did a lot of things just to myself. No one else to blame. All right, I hopefully will connect back with you guys after I'm done here. Well, today is Sunday. Move day is Tuesday. It is, oh, I forgot I packed my clock that's always there. I'm not sure what time it is. Actually, I don't have a clock to look at, and I'm using my phone, so it's not showing me. But it is late morning, before noon. But you know, I am a slow start when it's, you know, unless I have to be somewhere. Packing is going. It's going slow, but I am not panicking quite as much. I feel like I'm gonna probably, I mean, if I really got my rear in gear, I could get done today. I have the entire kitchen to do, the pantry in there, and the closet in my recording room, and the closet in my bedroom. So that could get done today. It's just me. Hi, sweet girl. She thinks it's great. She loves that there's boxes around she can climb. There's nothing on, you know, the tops of things. So she has been having a blast just jumping up on everything. She doesn't know why we don't live like this on the regular. Buddy, I would say, is the most stressed. He he knows something's up, and he sticks to me like glue anyway, so he's been following me around, so he doesn't relax too much during the day. Loki is a pro at all of this. He knows exactly what's going on. Not to say that he's like, oh my God, we're doing this again. Where is he? He's laying on the other side of the bed. You can't see him. But I wouldn't say he's stressing out. He's just like annoyed that we're doing this again. She's kicking back. Let me show you Lila. Yeah, she's just, she's doing what she always does. So she's going with the flow. We got the boxes going on here. So this entire video, I have not looked great. That's fine. Who wants to, get all dolled up when you're doing stuff like this? But just to get something out there, I thought I would keep you guys posted as to how the move is going. I mean, this video definitely is going to be posted after I move. I cannot tell you how much I just want to get this done. This has been really tough. Like, my age is showing in every way. One of the things that is really helping me to get excited to just get over there is my diamond painting. Oh my gosh, you guys, I haven't been working on it, obviously, because of all of this, but I did manage to get those 2 little projects done. I'm really sad that the floating frame that I ordered didn't work. So I'll have to think of a different I'll have to find something different for those that I did finish. So they were really great beginner, kind of new to the craft projects. They weren't overwhelming. I was able to finish, and I was able to figure out what would make it even better when it comes to tools and storage ideas and stuff like that. Still haven't got that dialed in completely, but I have a project that I want to have done by Halloween, and part of what's making me excited to also get over there is to get that laid out and something that I can unwind and relax to in the evenings. It is just so much nicer than just sitting scrolling on Instagram on my computer, and I've so much enjoyed the discovery of diamond painting. It has just been so much fun. It's fun to look at different projects and different ones that I'm going to want to do in the future. And so yeah, if you're looking for a hobby that you can do and it is as inexpensive or expensive as you want to make it, something to maybe quiet your mind if you're like me, something that's relaxing but fairly mindless, something that helps with your dexterity and just all of that, I think it is something you should look into, because and if you also love bling, sparkly things and you just love textiles and you're a tactile person, I think you should look into it, because it might just give you that extra little excitement, something to look forward to in your day. Check it out. I really do have a goal to get done packing today. So tomorrow, the day before the move, is all about just last minute things. There's things that I want to take over to the other house myself. Now, I don't have a hatchback anymore. I don't have that Mazda where I can load stuff in. And that has been a bit of an adjustment. I have not had an SUV. So this is the first time living with a sedan with a trunk. Yes, the seats fold down. I haven't tried that yet, but it's not the same. So the practicality of having that hatchback is hitting me. I love my car. I mean, every time I get in it, I'm like, oh, I mean, for one thing, it is so freaking comfortable. My back just gives a sigh of relief when I get in that car. And I do love that car, but because of this situation, you know, with this move and all of that, I am missing the practicality of having that hatchback. But other than that, no, you know, I'm not sad that I have my car. I love it. Anyway, okay, I am actually going to have to get my rear in gear. I wanted to get going here before noon, so. Okay, here is an attempt at trying something different. All right, so I found out that parchment paper, which I do have, works really good. So here's the idea. I'm just gonna pull off a square, of which I have cut, and work on this square. But I'm just gonna do like I have been, where I'm gonna see. I was doing that back and forth, but I think this can be more manageable, and I will have the least amount of opportunity to accidentally skip and not see certain numbers and letters. So yeah, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna do all the threes first because I don't have the setup currently to be able to just put out multiple trays without knocking them accidentally. So I'm just gonna do one at a time, maybe two, and just complete, you know, one square at I'm almost done with my second one. I have that little square down there to go. And this one is really pretty too. I don't know if you can see the sparkles. I think this one is gonna just be my favorite. I just really, really like it. Anyway, yeah, you're not gonna see the sides. It's gonna sit like in a frame.